guys, today we're going to be doing a side-by-side comparison between the Honda Grom 125 and the xpro Vader 150. Is it worth spending the extra money on the Grom, or is the xpro the best bang for the buck? Let's go take them for a ride, find out. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off on the Grom. Starts right up, idling. This bike is fuel injected. That one is carbureted, so that's a big difference right there to begin with. Starting out on the Honda Grom, this thing is an absolute beast. I love it. It feels so comfortable. Everything from the clutch, which is obviously aftermarket, but even the factory one feels good, to the gear lever at your foot, to the position. Everything feels super good. Now, one thing I do notice is on the foot pegs there's some decent vibration, so you're gonna get that on the xpro as well, but in kind of a different spot. So foot pegs is, in my opinion, the worst spot. Maybe your hands, but it's definitely not a good place to get the vibrations, because if your feet start going numb, you're gonna have some real big problems with longevity of your ride and how much you enjoy it. Obviously, best case scenario, you have no vibrations anywhere, but if I had to choose, I would choose the handlebars over the feet, because this thing has some pretty good vibrations. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he does have aftermarket foot pegs on here, which could cause that, because it's got a little bit more vibration than I would expect, if I'm being totally honest. Once we get away from this Tahoe that's following me, because I don't know if it's Popo or not, we'll have a little bit more fun on this thing. But the Grom is the peak, right? The Grom is the best, and everything else is kind of trickled down from that, whether it be trying to save cost or whatever. So you even got like Kawasaki doing the Z whatever. Then you got obviously a bunch of aftermarket China bikes, and so everyone's trying to get a piece of that Grom money, because this segment of bike is super popular, and for good reason, because they are super fun. You get out with some buddies, you can totally just goon around and have a super good time. Me and Mead have ridden a little bit together, and it's just an absolute blast. So you're definitely not going to be cruising on the interstate, you know, racing people and stuff, but just for a fun little goof around bike that you're definitely going to be able to enjoy with your friends. The Grom is the peak, but it's also the most expensive. Throttle response, throttle feel, everything is obviously the best it can be on the Grom. Fuel injected, it just feels amazing. Going from a dead stop, which you have to skirt the tires when you stop, it's just effortless, dude. This is the easiest bike literally ever to just hop on and drive. The power is so manageable. Literally anyone, I don't care who you are, if you could have like any basic experience with a clutch, you could ride this with complete ease. And then obviously you can do a bunch of stuff to it like Mead has, and you can have, you know, a bunch of fun gooning and stuff on it, learning to wheelie and just kind of learning to ride a motorcycle on the street. So yeah, the Grom is super fun, super nimble. You can flick it. There's a bazillion mods you can do to them, which his has got, you know, some decent mods on them. It's mostly exterior, just got the muffler on it as far as performance, but it sounds super good, nice and deep. Alright, now here's the beautiful things of why you get a Grom, because you can cruise down your normal roads, and then you can just hop off the road and goon down a trail. So yeah, dude, the Grom is, it's just so freaking good. It is gonna be the best bike you can get, there's no doubt about it. Obviously it's gonna be completely dialed, so it's totally dialed in from the factory. You don't have to worry about, you know, having little kinks and issues and those kind of things like you do with some of these Chinese bikes, and that goes a long ways. That's something that people are willing to spend the extra money on, is the reliability and whatnot. What's up, sir? You might find yourself working on them, whereas you don't have to work on this, which can be a, you know, a good and a bad thing. Just depends on how you look at it. I've not experienced anything on those bikes that was not fixable by myself, you know, whether it be them sending me a new part for something or whatever. I've been able to replace everything, and everything has been totally fine. So it's nothing I would be like scared to say, yeah, go get one. But if you got the money, the Grom's going to be your best bet, just based off of literally everything. This thing just, it drives way better going down the road. The RPMs are much lower. The top speed is higher. Now, as far as like full-blown acceleration, we're going to do pull up here. Mead, we rode together the other day, and what we seem to have found out is the xpro might actually be quicker through the first couple gears. My xpro is pretty much pegged maxed on most all roads, trying to just run 50, whereas this you can cruise better with. Vader 150 sounds better than this thing. It has all the good pops and crackles and stuff, which is just due to carbureted life. But here we go. Nice shift light. Oh yeah, this thing definitely likes being at the higher speeds a lot more. All right, now for the Vader 150. Come on now. Carbureted life. She usually cranks up really good. We might actually be out of freaking gas. Alright guys, on the xpro Vader 150. Right after riding the Grom. Come on, baby. Watch us run out of gas. Alright, so right after riding the Grom, it's very apparent the differences between these things. Now, for starters, the handlebars on the Grom feel amazing. They come up, they're nice and flat. These don't. These are like very angled. They don't feel very good, if I'm being completely honest. As well as the clutch. The clutch just doesn't feel great. It's got a very long extension. It's got a pretty heavy pull. It's not super buttery smooth like it is on the Grom. Then you've got how wide this is. So this plastic right here looks cool, but since it's not smooth like it is on the Grom, it kind of rubs your legs, and it's not comfortable. And listen, I'm just getting into the differences. I want y'all to be fully aware before you go spend $4,000 or $1,600. Let's talk about vibrations. So Mead's Grom with the aftermarket foot pegs had a lot of vibrations, way more than this. Now, I didn't feel many vibrations through my thighs touching the plastics right here, whereas I do on this thing. But we don't have very bad vibrations in the handlebars either, which is a really big thing. So if I'm basing them side by side of like what's gonna make me have like that numb feeling, I'm gonna say it would be the Grom, at least with the aftermarket foot pegs. Y'all can comment and let me know how the factory foot pegs feel, but as far as the ones that Mead had on his, not good. Just from the short acceleration driving difference, the Grom is way lower RPM just cruising, which is very nice. This seems to be like I don't know if I'd call it over revving, but it's high revving. You could just cruise anywhere basically at any speed in 5th gear, and it's still pretty heavily RPM'd. Oh, nice. quick recovery there. Yeah, just even there, I would not be already into 5th gear on the Grom, whereas I feel like I have to be on this. We're already at 4,000 RPMs, which is high. Man, it's just crazy the difference in the handlebar feel. It's insane how much better it feels on the Grom. I feel like I did not put enough air in my tires since I've been playing in the field. We might have kind of a low back tire. I don't want to just be all harping on this and not say anything good about it. This is a fun little bike for sure. Me and Mead rode out here and gooned around, and you know, as far as at our riding level, there's nothing that he could do on the Grom that I can't do on this. We both can, you know, run around and skirt the tires and do little baby wheelies and that kind of stuff. So it's not like I was getting left out, but he's probably having to work less hard and more comfortable while doing it, whereas you give up some of that on this, which, hey, for the difference of, you know, 2,500 bucks, you might can sleep good at night knowing that that is the only thing that is the difference. As far as like suspension goes, they feel very similar to me. I know the Grom has ABS. I'm sure it is a better suspension on that bike without a doubt, but they feel really similar riding, suspension wise and just overall bikes. Now, overall feel. This thing sounds so good though. I know it's because it's probably running a little lean from the factory, but just listen to the backfires. I don't know if y'all can hear it with the mic, but dude, Mead was jealous the other day because this is bone stock. And you've let off and it's got some real punchy. Really nice sounding burbles. Alright, we're gonna take the shorter trip. Ooh, even when you like grab a gear to shift, it has those good freaking pops and crackles. That's what I'm talking about when you go to shift. That just, ooh, you hear that? That was so good. Seems like right at the middle of the RPMs is where it really likes it. But look, dude, we're already at 31 miles an hour, and it feels like we are screaming RPM wise when we're kind of not. We're about halfway. I think this is pretty much as quick as the Grom. We'll say from, I don't know, 0 to 20. But then the Grom is so much better at cruising, so much better. So we'll do a full throttle up here. Hopefully we don't run out of gas. We'll have a, I'll throw them up next to each other. Hopefully the RPM gauges are similar, or the speedometer. Sorry boys, it's early and your boy's brain is not working apparently. But Mead's coming to pick up his Grom today, so I wanted to do this video of them side by side. And man, there's such a noticeable difference between them. But once again, $4,000+ for a bike of this size is a lot to ask, so it might be worth giving up some of those things in order to save a whole bunch of money. All right, let's hit them. Oof. You got to, boy. All right, we'll do a romp here, just like we did with the Grom. She is screaming. I think we got up to 50 on the Grom life, but here we go. Nice shift light. She is screaming. Ooh. Dude, what are we freaking... freaking, I don't even know what. See, now this is why I would get this, and this is why I did get this, because you can just be dumb. You can freaking do anything with it. You can ramp it off-road, you can drive it on the street, you can goon, everything. I think it's about time we wrap this video up with my final thoughts and opinions. So I think it pretty much comes down to what you're going to be using the bike for. Is this something you plan on riding every single day on 50+ mile per hour roads? You probably should stick with the Grom. Just go ahead, get the Grom. It's going to be able to do those mile per hours stock and do it, you know, better, smoother, quicker than the Vader. As you saw, they're pretty much the same speed as far as what I did pull side by side, full throttle, romping on it. Pretty much the same, but only went up to 48 miles an hour. So the Grom will continue to pull, whereas the xpro is going to reach its rev limit, which you can fix by, you know, modifying it, bigger tire, better sprocket. But if you're not wanting to modify the bike, the Grom is going to be the way, because it's, you know, ready for those road conditions. It's set up better. It's the better bike. Of course, you knew that going into this video, but if you're watching this, you're probably debating on trying to save yourself a good bit of money, and that's why you're thinking about getting the Vader. So yeah, I mean, it's a good option. I like the Vader. I'm able to do everything on it aside from the top speed that the Grom can do, but the Grom is better in literally every single way. But it just comes down to what you're going to be using it for, what kind of money you want to spend, and just make the decision for yourself. I would say if you got the money, get the Grom. If you want to risk it with a Chinese bike and, you know, have fun tinkering with it and maybe having to fix it and modifying it and stuff, I think that's a great option as well. Just a handlebar swap on that thing, I think, would do wonders for it for sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like you already knew, the Grom is better, but it's also way more expensive. So just think about what you're going to be using it for. Make your decision. Enjoy riding. Have fun. I'll see you all in the next video.